just in the operation of bringing a fish in the boat with these center consoles. That's why they like the center consoles, because you can get the guy with the rod, the fisherman. He can go up the gunnel, keep the boat in forward, so that way you got, the boat's still moving forward, which the fish, once you tire it out, he'll just follow the boat, because it's easier if the boat's going. He just kind of gets in line with the stream, basically. And you can have the fisherman walk up the side of the boat, so that way the guy with the gaff can go to the back of the boat, and then once you get the fish up to the back, you can grab it and get it in the boat. You don't lose the fish. As a lot of people try and get the gaff, and then the fish guy's in the back, and then the fish is going like this, and then you're playing the game of trying to stab it, and then you lose the fish because you gaff the line and unset the hook, and it becomes a disaster.
Yeah.
But standard operating procedure, just have the fisher go up the gunnel, gas in the back, boom, hit it. The fish is tired, so it just stays. Just kind of like follows that along the boat. Pretty easy to get it in.
Mm-hmm.
With that T-top coming down at the gunnel like that, you don't have that ability. Like you said, you got the rod. In order to get around that, you've got to lift the rod out around the T-top, come in with the other hand, grab it, and then do that little maneuver.
Yeah.
And
you got a big old fish on there.
Yeah,
it's not practical.
It's not. And
maybe
risky.
if you got another person, you could two-hand off like.
Yeah, but it's a whole.
You better hang on, dude.
Yeah. So. That's why most people don't like it. But then the other people, you've got all that shade factor. So,
dude, that boat in particular is what made me fall in love with CVs.
Really?
Because, I remember the first time it rolled into the marina when it was getting sold or had just been sold or whatever. It was a blacked out CV, and it had been kept inside in storage. So paint was, still perfectly
beautiful,
fresh, and had this big old lettering on the side, the X-Man.
Oh, yeah.
This big T-top with the coming down at the gunnels, and I was just like, whoa. That's a boat, dude. And then we took it out, and you were like, watch this, and you could turn that thing on a dime.
Oh, dude, CVs
giant boat, and it just sticks to the water, and it just, boom, turns right there. And I was like,
even with the ones with the towers, you can cut a U in a CV.
Looking at the water.
Oh yeah, yeah. They heel over.
Yeah.
So you cut a U in that boat, and it heels over. Like in sailing, they say getting the rails wet.
Yeah.
You can almost basically the same thing, and they're not like.
But I've never felt more comfortable looking at the water horizontally like that. I was just sitting there like, this is amazing. I don't know. I could talk good things about CV all day. They're awesome, but that boat in particular is just, that was the one. Because I don't know, how does that work on a CVZ? It doesn't have as much stick because that's a CV like B model. It's got
it's all flat bottom.
So
it really steps.
It really sticks to the water, So it'll be slower, but there's nothing like seeing that
disease
that turn. And it's not even that slow. It had those old L6s, and it went like, what, 55?
It's probably something like that. Probably 50s. It's definitely in the 50s.
Yeah, for the boat.
Yeah,
I'll take 55.
That's probably the biggest gripe that a CV gets from people is it's heavy, and you don't get the best fuel economy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not as fast as these Invincibles and all these other boats that are doing Freeman doing 70.
Yeah.
But at the same time, in what sea conditions can you go 70 all the time? Not as often.
No.
A lot of them will do that's kind of.
But if you could get a CV to 70, they'll do 70 in a lot of seas. Do you know what I mean?
Most of the CVs will all do 60 now. You're running 60, which
especially, I think the CV's one that's going to benefit from the V10 the most.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely. It's funny because we've got a video about going from 3 engines to 4, where we took 3 engines off the back of the boat and we're putting 4 on there.
Mm-hmm.
And that video is actually going to come out on the main channel here pretty soon. But I think you hear a lot of people complain about that what's with this trend of putting 4, 5, 6 out, all these outboards on the back of the boat. And for the most part, 3 to 4 engines are pretty much like the standard. I get it, the 5, the 6, that's
That's Midnight Express kind of thing.
That's getting, that's a whole different deal. That's not like a functional.
That's just to show your class.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
like, I'm up here, buddy.
Yeah. Those are the guys that, are stripping off hundies as they're going along, like just,
like,
don't even care.
It's like, oh, did you touch my boat? It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard a story one time about a guy taking a test run on like that. And, they go on these test runs at these boat shows, and you can get like 2 or 3 different potential clients on the boat. Mm-hmm. And one guy asked the captain, he's like, what's the fuel economy on this boat? What's the average deal here?
Yeah.
And the other guy on the other side, like, looks over at him. He's like, look, if you can't afford to do this, and he takes out a wad of hundreds and he just starts peeling them off, just stripping them off and letting them fly out the back of the boat. He's like, you can't do this, then you shouldn't even be on this boat. And he's like, oh my goodness. Oh, but that's, like you said, that's a whole different class of, like, that's not really functional. Whereas these triples and these quads, the whole deal is that these guys want to go 30, 40, 50, 60 miles offshore. And when you're doing 60 miles an hour in a center console that's built for fishing, that's not a big sport fish, which is a whole different style of boat and fishing. Mm-hmm. It's a center console that does 60. So now you're leaving the dock at 7 o'clock. You're already at your spot at like 8:30. You can fish for 3 hours and then make it back by lunchtime. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like the whole process of it, is that they want to be able to go out, go fishing, catch their fish, be back by noon, go out for lunch, go out, hang out with the family. Like,
yeah,
that's why they want the speed, but also in these boats, like, the 59 Tirana and all these other, like Midnight Express. I mean, that's different.
Or what was it, a 65 HCB with six V12s?
That's insane. But you get to that big of a boat, the sea conditions aren't as,
it won't affect it as much.
It doesn't affect it as much. No.
Yeah, it'll eat.
Yeah, they eat. So they are doing 50, 60 miles an hour in 3-4 footers. Mm-hmm. It's
because those 3-4 footers feel like little choppers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, if you enjoyed this clip, you can watch the full episode over here, or you can watch another one over here.